Asshole.
Not an asshole.
Asshole. That asshole said I could stop that asshole. That's an asshole. Asshole. Christmas asshole.
All of you little assholes are gonna go nowhere in life.
You're asshole. Passing notes, you little asshole. Oh, that's very clever. Asshole. You had it coming, asshole. Pigeon's asshole. Food stamp. Asshole. Asshole. Asshole.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the A-Hole Hour, the least interactive podcast on the internet today. Let me first start by introducing the man. He's the brains and the beauty personified for fantasy sports and life in general. You call him Fred Flintstone because he'll yabba dabba do ya. The great Lou Landers at Landers Talks. How are you today, Lou?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. Yabba dabba doing well.
Awesome, awesome. Next to my immediate right here, he's a Corona survivor. He's a retired dog walker. He shoots a full condom filler, and it tastes like vanilla. How are you doing today, ChaCha?
Yes, thank you, Double A, for that wonderful introduction. Very well, my friend.
And right here to my immediate left, the funniest guy I know with the worst Wi-Fi connection I know. He's like Rubik's Cube. The more you play with it, the harder you get. The only black man I'd ever let inside my future daughter. How are you today, Black Phillip? How are we doing today?
What's up?
You are charisma personified, my man. And right across from me, the man, the myth, the legend, the man who pushes the buttons, the man who basically finances this whole deal with his fascination with electronics and tech. He probably has more microphones than your boy Double A has felony charges. How you doing, Easy Kill? How you doing today, my man?
Double A, Spider-Man, I'm doing well. Thank you.
And finally, for myself, the man that you all know, you all love, I don't know what I would do if I woke up if I wasn't myself. The quintessential muff stuffer. You could call me a stud muffin, but I'll be the muff stuffer, the real Double A. And at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot it back to Easy because he's the one who's conducting this train ride today. Let's do it, boys. How have we been this weekend, honestly? How is everything this week, Easy Kill? Everybody doing well?
I'm doing fine. No new viruses in my household, so that's a good thing. And right now that's always a plus, but I'm on. So back to you. How about you down there in Florida? Everything okay with the Double A household?
The household is okay, but they're opening up Florida all of a sudden. I mean, I don't know if last time we talked they were going to open it up, but yeah, everything's opening up. Gyms are going back up on Monday. The personal services, the hair salons, the nail places, all that stuff, they're opening back up. So I'm just going to sit here and watch with my popcorn as everybody quickly rushes out to their death. Everybody's going to rush out.
Double A, do you know where Jenny Dell and Middlebrooks are going?
As far as what?
As far as the gym, I guess. That's where we'll start.
I'm working on figuring that out. At the moment, Will Middlebrooks, my close personal Twitter friend, in case anybody wasn't wondering. I mean, right now they're working out in their garage at the moment, but there is an LA
Fit invite.
I'm waiting for it. I'm kind of pressing it. I know, right? It's a slow process where they got to just learn that A, I'm a neighbor. B, I'm around. And, I was talking to Nicole the other day, like the only thing I have to be careful of when we do become friends is not letting him know that I've had a thing for his wife since 2012, because that could be a little weird, right?
Well, that kind of answers my second question. My second question is, are you using Will to get to Jenny, or are you using Jenny to get to Will?
Well, I don't know the angle I'm playing yet, honestly. I mean, first, I'm just trying to become bros. I'm getting a lot more response from Will Middlebrooks at the moment. But, it's walking that fine line of fandom / creepy and friendship / one day partner swap, I guess, is what I'm really the ultimate goal is, right? So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. I appreciate you asking. I have a ridiculous amount of information that I probably, it's a little weird that I have at this point, like the fact that they live 2 miles from me, and every time on Twitter and stuff, I'm just throwing little things about, oh man, it's crazy that Earth Fair opened up and closed all of a sudden, right? They knew what I was talking about. Oh man, I was in the Hagen Ranch Target the other day. I'm just throwing things out there.
You got to sneakily find out their favorite restaurant.
Well, once they open up, I'll find that out. The thing is, Jenny's quite the cook. She's actually a pretty gangster cook. She does this Simply Delicious thing. And yeah, man, so that's the thing. But yeah, I'm gonna trust me, dude. My Twitter stalk game is pretty on point. I do have a way of
does everyone else here know who Will Middlebrooks and Jenny Dell are?
Nope.
No.
I know Will.
Seriously?
Am I supposed to?
Will Middlebrooks used to play with the Red Sox,
either.
and I think he was on the Padres too, right? I mean, he was on the Red Sox. I know that.
Red Sox,
Right.
Padres. He ended in Philly because of his knee like a year or two ago. That's what kind of stopped it. I feel like he might have had a stint on the Rangers, but I'm not 100% sure.
I think you're right about that.
Our friendship is growing, and let's just say by chance, he's one of our 6 listeners. I might have just ruined any chances of a relationship. So thank you, Lou, for thank you, Lou
Jenny
Landers,
Dell
for
used
manipulating
to,
me into that.
Report for Nesson, right? She used to be
you-
like the Red Sox reporter. So Will
Yeah, she
started
was the sideline
dipping
girl.
his ink in or his pencil in the company ink.
It doesn't take much
No
to get
shit.
double A to say things. That
Or
you
maybe
shouldn't
this
say.
won't ruin your chances at a friendship, but maybe after you guys become friends years down the road, and then this pops up like a tweet from 2009, and then you get your movie canceled and get fired from your job and lose all your friends.
Wait a minute.
The internet
Wait a minute. I just got a chubby because for the first time ever, Phil's mouth was moving the same time the sounds were coming out. The Wi-Fi
Crazy.
was at peak right there. Good job, Phil.
No, I just had a computer this time instead of an iPhone. I had to break this thing out of the.
He's using all that free money to purchase his own Wi-Fi. So he's killing it.
All right,
First of
ChaCha.
all, free money. I don't know what you're.
Ray, I'm
talking
looking at Will
love
Middlebrooks' rookie card. It's worth $8.95 on eBay right now. Will Middlebrooks rookie card, and if you get it chrome purple,
What happens if he gets it signed? Then what does it do to the price?
I'm looking for the autographed. Autographed. It's actually this guy's asking $70 for it.
Wait, what if she autographs it? Maybe that would make it worth more.
Is that his wife?
Jenny Dell probably, but in
What if
Will's
she
defense,
autographed a naked
ChaCha.
photo?
Woohoo!
Come on, guys, you're gonna ruin everything for me right now. Like I have been working this for 2 years. I've been infiltrating, and I finally got him to slide into my DMs out of nowhere the other day, and you guys are killing me.
We love you.
I'm pumping him up.
When I post
I'm pumping him up $70 for a Will Middlebrooks rookie card.
When I post
Are you
this
kidding?
double A, I'm just going to tell you right now. Initial thing is going to be: would you rather be friends with Jenny Dell or Will Middlebrooks? So it's going to be out there, bro. People are going to know. Okay?
People are going to know.
The
Lou,
11 people.
Right.
Lou is not going to let this
You know
go.
what? Last week on the recording, we got about 95 people tuning into this.
All right.
So,
and it wasn't even me 18 times like usual. I think I might have listened to like the first half of it, and then
it only
distracted.
records your IP address once, so you can listen to it 40 times.
I think
It'll only be one
last
listen.
week was our best show. I listened to it the whole way through for the first time in a long time. I thought it was a very strong show.
Awesome. Yeah, guys. So 2 years of work down the drain. Thanks, guys. And honestly, but back to real fast, back to ChaCha and the money on the card. Card value doesn't make a difference. Barry Bonds is the greatest baseball player ever, and his rookie card's worth 18 cents.
No.
So like,
yeah, because
it's
there's
not
a
worth
million
shit.
of them printed.
I was going to say,
No.
I think you
Million
nailed
printed.
that. Is that because of the steroids,
Very
or is
common.
that because it's so easy to find?
So easy to find.
Very common.
Yeah. Because
he came out and when the cards were everybody was selling cards like crazy. They had like 5, 6, 7 companies at the same time. They didn't just have a couple of 2 or 3 companies, and they mass produced those cards back in the 80s.
Man, what was that? What was that? Did you guys hear that? Maybe I'm the only one who heard it because I'm close enough. That's Will ripping up my invitation to his Sunday barbecue. I just heard that. It's over.
Hey, is Bonds the greatest? Would Bonds be the greatest pirate of all time?
Bonds is the greatest baseball player.
Yeah, he's the greatest player of all time.
Okay, but you would count him as the greatest pirate of all time. Who else would be in the top of the pirate?
Clemente. I don't think any other pirates had a 30-30 season.
Clemente.
Right, Clemente.
Willie Stargell.
Right. That's who I know.
Clemente.
But Bonds, even though I think was Bonds there 7 years? I want to say, I could be wrong.
86 to 93. So for 3, about 7 years, 93 season, he went to the Giants for a whopping $43 million.
Okay, but that's my point. Can you be the greatest player of all time on a team and only be there 7 years?
Honus Wagner was a pirate.
Oh,
I mean, shit. Right now, LeBron's already one of the greatest Lakers to ever.
Ralph Kiner.
No, he's
you
not.
Mean the greatest Laker.
5 minutes, and he's already top 5. I'm only gonna put him below Shaq and Kobe and Magic Johnson and Kareem. After that, it's LeBron. He wins a title. He might go all the way up to.
Phil's a Laker fan too, by the way. So I mean, this is coming from a Laker fan.
By the way, Andrew McCutchen made their top 10 list.
I love Andrew McCutchen.
Andrew McCutchen was a good ball player.
Very good.
He's actually, when he's healthy, still pretty good for his age.
Yeah. But definitely,
I love Kutch.
ChaCha hit on Stargell and Clemente, who stand out the most.
Yeah.
I forgot Honus Wagner was a pirate at one point for like 17 years. I mean, he started in 1900, so a lot of people don't even know who he is, but he's, baseball great from a history standpoint.
The best hitter. Who is their best hitter ever? Their best pure hitter?
It's Bonds, man. It has to be.
Bonds.
But if you're going to take away Bonds, I would say Clemente.
Right.
What about Bill Madlock? What about Bill Madlock? Didn't he play for the Pirates for a while? He was pretty much of a 300 hitter pretty much all the time.
I guess I don't think of the name right away as being a great pirate.
No, they have.
I think my grandpa used to watch that show.
Max Carey and Fred Clark on there.
My mom used to watch.
Now the next argument is Bonds the greatest Giant of all time? Is he above Mays?
Yes.
Bar none. I think. I mean, the bulk of his numbers were in San Francisco, and the bulk of his MVPs also. I mean, I just think like he's a superior player in my opinion. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, he also, really did.
Sorry, Double A. Keep going.
No, it's cool. I'm just saying he brought the Giants.
The guy that you would even say is the best besides Bonds. Is it Mays? Because that's up for debate too.
Oh, Willie
Mays. It is
up
for debate. I mean,
Willie Mays back in his. I mean, I almost think Willie Mays was the LeBron of his time, meaning he was the icon of baseball for, maybe 10 years. I mean, it was fucking the say, hey, kid, I'm sorry. I don't know how you can't be like that and not be one of the greatest on your own team. He was the greatest baseball player, I feel, I'm going to say.
Yeah, well, people would argue that Babe Ruth was the best player of all time, but he played, played a long time ago.
I didn't say all time. I said in his era. I'm just saying. Willie Mays
in his era? Probably, although I wonder if Mays and Mantle overlapped. I'm young, and I'm blanking on it right now, because obviously I'm a bit of a homer, but I think Mickey Mantle might be one of the greatest of all time.
I'm not
really going out on a limb there, Lou.
Yeah. All right.
Well, people don't consider Mantle the best. They consider him.
I think he's up there. He's
A-Rod.
A-Rod to me is still the best shortstop of all time, even though he only played at half his career.
I think the Yankees did him dirty because he was like 3 home runs away from 700, and they just stopped playing him.
I'm sorry about that. If we're talking about like what, I guess the real question is what makes you better than someone else, okay? Because I got it in front of me here, and I mean, a lot of people like to say wins above replacement. Barry Bonds' WAR on the Giants, just on the Giants, was 162.5. Mays was 155.9. So, I mean, if we're just talking about that, that's that. Mays played more games as a Giant, 29.92. Bonds played 29.86. So that's really a wash right there. So we do have a really good sample size with what they did.
It actually
Barry
makes
Bonds
Bonds even better because if Bonds had as many games as Mays, his WAR would be higher.
Okay, but wait a minute. Time out. But that argument's going against what Phil said about LeBron being the greatest Laker, meaning numbers, games, none of that matters.
No, so maybe not
LeBron's
Lakers,
the
but like
greatest
the Miami Heat. Is LeBron the greatest Miami Heat player
By far.
of all time?
By
Yes.
far,
And
because
he's also the greatest Cav.
He is
he's
the
by
greatest
far
player.
Yes.
he's by far the greatest Heat player because Dwayne Wade has that abomination of a kid. So he's by far the best. I mean, honestly, after that shit, I'm gonna put Melo over D Wade too. After that shit,
The Heat
if we're
and
being
the
honest.
Cavs don't have a potential top 3 to 5 player in the history of the game compared to the Lakers, who might have 4 of them. So I don't know if I put LeBron.
The Lakers do have like 5 already of the greatest all-time players.
Yeah, so I don't think I put LeBron as the best Laker ever.
Now,
He hasn't done it
Not the
long
best
enough.
Laker, but he's already one of the
He's
top.
already a top like 3
Another
or 4
thing
Laker,
another thing that Phil said, I don't think A-Rod would be considered the best of any team he played on, right? Wouldn't Ken Griffey Jr. be the greatest Seattle Mariner?
I can't name a better Texas Ranger unless we're talking maybe Nolan Ryan, but I don't think a position player on the Rangers ever sniffed A-Rod's ass.
A-Rod was definitely the best Texas Ranger ever and arguably the best Seattle Mariner ever.
No, not over Griffey Jr.
I mean, Griffey's numbers were ridiculous, but Griffey didn't. Griffey's numbers kind of pale in comparison to A-Rod in a lot of ways.
And that's kind of the thing. I mean, if we're comparing numbers, I mean, obviously you think the Mariners, you think Ken Griffey because he saved that franchise. I mean, he's the face of the franchise.
Martinez might be the best Mariners hitter of all time.
Edgar Martinez is the best pure hitter, right, of all time for Seattle.
Yeah.
Really
might be.
Griffey though sold that. I mean, Griffey was everything.
Although, wait a minute. We got
offense,
run back
defense,
that
player.
again. We left out Suzuki. Suzuki was Suzuki a better hitter than?
Okay, Suzuki might be a better hitter
than
Martinez.
But Ken Griffey Jr. had his own video game.
Right. Phil hit it. Right.
That is true.
See, because I do think you need to, but you do need to put a fan perspective on a player when you're talking the greatest of an organization. I mean, Pete Rose, obviously, I think has to be the greatest Red of all time, even though he has different problems now.
I would say that Johnny Bench is the greatest Red of all time.
No way. No way, Lou.
I like Bench too. Tell me why.
Well, I'm just telling you, I grew up here. Pete Rose is loved to step. I mean, Pete Rose's dad, Johnny Bench, might be mom. I'm sorry. And there's a big difference, in my opinion, when it comes to sports. But, Pete Rose was just, all around. Because he brought more to the game. Because some people will say he sucked on defense, but he brought a different, he just brought a, something to the team that made the whole team play a better defense,
And correct me if I'm wrong. Bench played his whole career with the Reds, right?
That is correct.
And Pete Rose did put up numbers in Philly. So, I mean, it's kind of, it's not like he was a scrub there.
Pete Rose is the greatest Montreal Expo also. I'm just saying.
Gary Carter.
I'll take Johnny Bench. As the greatest Red ever. 2-time MVP, Rookie of the Year, 3-time RBI champ, 2-time home run champ.
Never fornicated with a minor.
That we know of.
Terrific catcher, and of course, a solid third baseman and first baseman.
I'll just take 5 on this one.
Coming from somebody who grew up in Canada, I don't buy that bullshit. It's Pete Rose. I'm sorry. In our area, it would be Pete Rose. I'm just saying.
All right. I'm not going to argue with the local guy. I'm just curious because who's
top 5? Who's top 5, Easy?
Well, obviously, Ken Griffey Jr. has to be on there, even though he didn't really do good numbers with the Reds. But he did sell a lot of tickets, and people loved. Believe it or not, he might be one of the greatest Cincinnati Reds, even when he was playing for the Mariners. I mean,
That's a ballsy statement.
Well, because
that's a ballsy statement.
Back in the day, I watched the Mariners only because Griffey Jr. was playing, and I get it. Other people did too because he was so good. But around here,
what about Ken Griffey Sr.?
I mean, a good player for a year or two. I mean,
his greatest accomplishment is having Ken Griffey Jr.
Now,
Yeah,
his greatest
in my
accomplishment was playing, the fact that they played together for a season, I thought was a great accomplishment. I mean, that's pretty cool. He played that long that he got to play with his
That's
son.
very cool.
So,
Bron, right, Phil?
yeah. I mean,
Bron and Bronny are going to play together one day.
Hold out a little bit.
So
Johnny
Yep.
Bench had
After he wins, like, 1 or 2
200 more home
titles on the
runs than
Lakers.
Pete Rose. Just throwing it out there.
yeah, but
So
how
let me ask you, though.
How many hits compared to Johnny
Well,
Bench?
obviously, Pete Rose has
Okay.
more hits than everybody.
Well, but that's, but back
Let
to
me
Johnny-
ask you, though,
At
I
a
mean,
time when the home run ball wasn't that prevalent,
my,
I look at the home runs and think
right.
that's kind of a big deal. Nowadays, the hits to me would actually mean more.
Where do
but
you
in the
put Joe
70s
Morgan? Where do you put Joe
I was going to
Morgan?
ask that.
I don't know. Maybe fourth or fifth.
I put him
Wow.
ahead of Ken Griffey as a Red. I put Joe Morgan ahead. I put Johnny Bench ahead. I put Eric Davis ahead. I mean, these are Barry Larkin ahead. That's a storied franchise that we're gonna put a guy.
Barry Larkin always goes unnoticed.
He really does.
top
He was
three to me.
nasty.
I don't think he's number one, but he's top 3
No.
for sure.
What
And
about
that's the
Frank
thing. Like,
Robertson? Frank Robertson was a Red.
Well,
You forget
Tony
that he was a
Perez.
Red.
Tony Perez.
Tony
He's a
Perez.
Hall of
Frank
Famer.
Tony
Robertson,
Perez
Tony
didn't even
Perez.
make the dream bracket team, though. So what does that tell you?
Well, I mean, and
it
tells
tells
you that
me
the
how
Reds have,
stacked it is.
yeah, the Reds have a lot of good players.
Yeah.
And that's why I can't put Ken Griffey Jr. on a top 5 Red, because it's that kind of franchise. If we were talking about the Marlins, if we were talking about
Miguel
some
Cabrera.
schmuck squad, yeah, Miggy's the best Marlin ever. I mean, there's no debating that one.
Mike
Honestly,
Piazza,
I would say that
Gary Sheffield,
I would have to say
they're all pretty
I would
good.
have to say they weren't really Marlins. I would have to say though that Miguel Cabrera is the greatest talent that was ever traded.
A-Rod
Was he traded?
from Texas to the
Yeah.
Yankees.
Yeah.
Didn't he
that's
sign
true.
it?
Texas to the Yankees. It happened.
Texas, it was a trade. It was a trade.
Yeah, they
Trust me,
traded Soriano. Soriano.
Yeah.
Wasn't Griffey
That's right,
traded
Alfonso.
too?
Yes, Griffey was traded to the Reds. That was a trade.
Yeah.
But it was but I agree they're kind of crazy trades because they were kind of trades / if they didn't trade him, they were going to go there the next year anyway.
What's also interesting is that Miguel Cabrera, not that he wasn't a good player with the Marlins, but he wasn't a superstar like A-Rod when A-Rod got traded, or even Griffey.
Yeah, he was a kid.
Griffey was the kind of tailing out as well. Miggy hadn't really established himself as a superstar yet. He was just a rising star. So that's what makes that trade even more interesting. The Marlins really fucked that up. Whereas
What really makes that trade interesting is that Detroit fans were so upset that they traded Andrew Miller.
yeah,
So upset that they traded their future out of North Carolina for Miguel Cabrera. Fucking Detroit, worst goddamn city in the world.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I got to think back. Was Tom Seaver traded to the Reds from the Mets? I think that was a trade also.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
they traded Steve Henderson, Doug Flynn, and 2 bags of donuts for him.
all right. But
It was 4 for 1.
The donuts.
Steve
and the
Henderson,
donuts were the
Doug
things that
Flynn.
actually.
They had Steve Henderson, Doug Flynn, Pat Zachary. I think Pat Zachary was also traded to the Mets. I
So,
think that was part of the
I got a
trade.
question
One
for
other
you
guy.
guys. I've been playing MLB The Show, and when Chipper Jones
Have you?
comes in, they talk about him as the best.
Sponsor. Sorry.
did we lose Lou?
Chipper Jones is the best Atlanta Brave. If that's what Lou was going to say, if that what he was going to say, well, I guess I don't know if anybody agrees with that.
I do agree with that because I think that the only real argument is going to be with those pitchers, and I think positional players lean heavier than pitchers all time. So I would say Chipper Jones is the best Brave, and Dale Murphy, he was good and everything, but what was he, a 280-something hitter?
We're kind of leaving out Henry Aaron, aren't we?
I forgot about him, yeah, but he was a Milwaukee Brave. I completely forgot about Hank Aaron.
I mean, he always gets left out. He always gets left out in the Mantle, in the Mays. He always got left out in the greatest players of all time. But there he is, putting up the numbers every year. You know, he was as consistent as anybody, and obviously he was the greatest home run hitter, for the longest time. But I'd have to say Henry Aaron is over Chipper Jones, but I guess there's an argument for it. But that's just
meow, Chipper Jones.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I had to.
There's your Chipper Jones. We just blew up your Chipper Jones thing.
We really did just blow up whatever point you were going to say. Now it's just the after point. Basically, what we said is I rank Chipper Jones the highest because I feel like I forgot about Hank Aaron, but I rank him higher than the pitchers because pitchers are just pitchers, in my opinion.
What about Mantle?
Positional players. He was never a Brave.
I didn't say Brave. I said switch hitter.
Oh, I thought you said Brave.
No, I don't give a shit about the Braves.
Pete Rose is the greatest switch hitter of all time, right?
No.
Oh my God! Get the fuck out of here, easy.
How's Pete Rose not the greatest switch hitter?
Because
Mickey Mantle and Eddie Murray. Mickey Mantle, Eddie Murray. Mickey Mantle and Eddie Murray.
Eddie Murray's up there.
Eddie Murray.
Eddie Murray wasn't nearly as strong against lefties as he was against righties. I feel like Chipper Jones might have been the most complete of them all. Even Mantle was not nearly as strong from the right side as the left side. Chipper, I think, was equally as strong for both sides, which to me makes him the best.
You know who doesn't get much play, and it could have been just the way the end of his career fizzled out? Roberto Alomar was a 6 switch hitter, too. I mean, he kind of acted like a fucking fool towards the end of the career. That spitting on the umpire shit is all I could think about at this point. But, I mean, he did it both ways, man. I mean, and the AIDS thing. Yeah, you spit on a dude, and then you find out you have AIDS. That poor guy. AIDS was the original coronavirus.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Except they weren't giving out these AIDS checks like they're doing these Rona checks.
Those AIDS checks.
The unemployment didn't go up to.
Phil, don't tell me you got another check. I didn't get my first check yet. What the frig's up with that? I'm still waiting for my
it right now.
check.
You have to know people, ChaCha. You have to know people.
Look at me. I'm blacker than him, and I can't get my check, for Christ's sake.
Because a lot of people.
I got mine like the first week. Wait, are you in New York?
A great defender.
Yes.
But if you look at like his prime offensive seasons, he was a stud.
That's what I'm saying. He is known as the deep. It's sad that somebody's penalized for their offense because how nasty their defense was, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of a crazy statement, right? But that's exactly why people don't think about Alomar. But just nasty AF. What do you win? 2 or 3 rings with the Blue Jays? Maybe 2? He was on those Blue Jays.
Blue Jays because they won 2, 92, 93. But he was great. I think it was with the Padres prior to.
He was a rookie with the Padres, I think.
Yeah. I can't pull.
Oh, that was his brother. Was that his brother?
I lost I told you guys before the show, I've been intermittently losing my internet, so I'm on data right now. Otherwise, I'd pull up his Alomar's career page, and it's probably going to blow your mind.
I don't know how the poor Wi-Fi is contagious from New York with Phil to Los Angeles with Lou Landers, but I think you caught that poor Wi-Fi, bro.
Yeah, it's possible.
You got to put a fucking mask on your modem.
It's more contagious than Corona.
All right.
He had a father that played too, right? Roberto Alomar's father played for the Angels, I think. Is that true?
Yeah. Alomar's, there was more than one, if I'm not mistaken. I think like a brother.
Well, I know there was Roberto, there was Sandy.
Yeah, I thought there was a brother and an uncle. So, but
he had a career 300 batting average.
But we had that conversation a long time ago on my other show where I did with multiple people, where we talked about the greatest baseball family of all time. And I think we agreed it was the Boone family, right? The Boone families.
I would say Boone, yeah, because it's 3 generations,
right? And I think they have a 4th. I think the kid got drafted this year, if I'm not mistaken. I thought there was a
kid, Brett or Aaron's.
I'd lie if I told you one of them. I thought he played like Arizona or no, he played for like Brown University or something like that in New York. So
Aaron wasn't that great of a player though. He was. Like
That's what I'm asking because Aaron wasn't really that good. He closed his eyes and hit 1 home run, and all of a sudden his career is justified.
Okay, wait a minute. I have to argue with that. He played for Cincinnati and was a above average player for us for a few years.
Yeah, he was a solid MLB player, but he was never anything special.
But that's the point. The fact that you can go 3 or 4 generations, I think it was the only one we even came up with that was, that many deep as far as
what about the Alous?
And his great grandfather was like, a very good ball player, and his dad wasn't a shabby guy either. Played for Phillies, right?
Is
who are we? I'm lost.
Hank Aaron related to Bond somehow, or is he just like his godfather or something?
Godfather.
No, aren't they all? No, Mays. Mays is his godfather.
Oh, right. Mays is his godfather. Yeah, there's no.
That's what I meant. Right. I thought home runs and thought Hank Aaron.
But there wasn't. Hank Aaron had a brother who played, and I think he had like 22 home runs. So I think
it was Lucas Aaron, right?
Yeah,
had, Dom DiMaggio, right?
Right.
ChaCha would know.
DiMaggio's had two brothers that played in the major leagues.
Yeah. One
They
was
actually,
Dom,
I think,
right?
there was Dom and Vic. I believe it was Vic and Dom. And I think for some reason they may have all played on the same team at one time when it was a San Francisco Seals or some kind of team. I don't know if that was a team way back when. Was there possibly remember that? Anybody remember the Seals?
It sounds like something that would be on. Seems like the name of a TV
like
movie.
a hockey team.
Seems like there was a TV.
Let me ask, and I mean, obviously this is a Google type thing, but I mean, I feel like there's a Boone in the national system right now too. So I mean, that could be a fourth generation. Isn't like Brett Boone or something? Like,
No, right.
Hold on, I'm gonna.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
This.
Seattle player.
Right, Debbie
Boone. Debbie Boone.
Debbie Boone was a
light
singer.
up my life. Debbie Boone, baby.
Are there any other sports
right,
that had
baby.
mad?
Come on,
that
Phil.
had like
Give
that
me the
many
hand over
generations
here.
left? Like,
Give me a little
like
soul
what?
there.
I don't know.
Who in
Debbie
other
Boone,
sports?
come
Like
on.
in basketball, you got what? I'm trying to think of sports where mad generations. Basketball, I think Steph Curry, his dad.
What about the Longs in the NFL?
Football, the Mannings.
The Mannings, he's
And
right. Howie Long and his son.
And they got a young Manning. Cooper's got a son that's looking probably better than Daniel Jones is already on the field.
And he's okay.
I mean, I saw the highlights and I'm like, bro, we could be tanking in 2024 and be looking real good.
Double A, we have kept score on this before. Give Phil one. Phil gets a mark for that one. Phil brought the Manning there. Good job.
I was looking for my bell. Thank you, ChaCha. You got it.
I got it here.
What's that for?
Now wait a minute. We have gone 30 minutes. We've
He's
gone
a blue
30.
check.
Hold on.
Blue
We've gone
check
30
Twitter
minutes.
man.
We have not told anybody that we are live on YouTube this time for the first time ever. Now it doesn't look like we have any live viewers, but next week, hopefully if this works well and we don't get kicked off of YouTube, we'll continue to do it live there.
Oh, that's right.
And you can put comments and stuff on. No, I have us click that we might have some vulgar things to say, but I'm just letting you know we are live. So next week, guys.
This page is this week's been PGAF, and honestly, the only real terrible thing that happened so far this week is you kind of ruined a possible budding friendship between the Amorosa family and the Middlebrooks family. So I don't appreciate that actually.
I have a non-sports question.
Middlebrooks Dell family, not just the Middlebrooks family.
All right, I got a question. One of those, if you can't do one of these, which would it be? Kind of questions. And I think we're a pretty diverse group right here. Midwest, West Coast, East Coast, young, old. I'm going to start with double. I'm going to start with Double A. Double A. You have to give up one of these four things.
Okay. Books.
No.
Anal.
Listen.
No.
Let me name them before you say anything. Junk food, which would include pizza, fast food, and all that. Or you have to give up intercourse, or you have to give up sports, or oral sex. One of those you have to give up for the rest of your life. Which one would you be willing to give up?
Easy answer.
I thought it was easy. I thought it was easy, but
I'm getting rid of the fourth because I need the other three.
I need
if you have regular sex, you don't need regular sex. So I'll take the junk food.
I know, but look at Phil. I thought the same thing, but then part of me, I've been fairly old. I'm not I'm no porn guy, but oral sex when it happens does seem to be, there's times, and maybe that's the point. I'm not sure what I get. I don't know what would happen on my birthday. I don't know what would happen on my birthday if we didn't.
So wait, it's junk food.
Junk food, intercourse, sports, oral sex.
And I need
it's got to be the oral sex because you need sports. You might as well just die without that.
I'll give up
Here's where I'm at,
and just take oral.
Well, since I was asked, I think I'll
go ahead.
I'll answer.
Spider-Man.
I think since I'm married, and here's the thing, man, and here's my philosophy on oral sex. Oral sex is only it's like the gateway to actual sex. I mean, most of the time in my youth and in my more promiscuous single years, it all started with the oral. Now I'm married, so it's I mean, it's just
All right. Now,
I
time
think
out.
oral sex.
Hold on.
Yeah.
All right.
No, wait. The oral. I'm talking giving and getting. So your wife's involved here too. Giving and getting oral sex would be off the table.
Oh, bro, I'll give up giving oral sex for fucking, I don't know, whatever.
They come
Honestly,
together.
that could just go the fuck away.
How many options you gonna give this guy? Options. Give me an answer,
It's a
goddamn it.
package deal. You're giving up both when you give up oral. So go ahead. Which are you giving up? I think he said oral sex. That's what you're giving up.
I think oral sex because I could still eat ass, right?
Okay, I'll give you that. I think.
I'm not volunteering.
I'm just saying, once this coronavirus is done, rimming is coming back in 2021, folks. I mean, it's not gone and forgotten. It's just taking a little bit of a rest.
All right, ChaCha, you're older.
And then we'll have the pink eye pandemic.
Yeah.
Oh no.
ChaCha, which are you going to give up?
All right. I ain't giving away pizza. I'm not giving away intercourse. I'm not giving away what else you got to give me? Sports. Yeah, I'll keep sports. I don't give a shit.
So you're
but oral sex is like an eclipse to me anyway. So what's the big fucking
All right.
deal?
Phil, I want an opinion. You said oral sex too already. Lou,
it's absolutely oral. It's absolutely oral for Phil because he's a black man and black dudes don't eat pussy because it's not fried. Sorry.
Check, give that man a check.
Remember that episode of The Sopranos?
Yes.
When the one dude got super mad that his girl told everybody that he went down on her, and he was like really pissed about it.
Yeah, the old guy.
But I am pretty sure though it is on I do think it's on Church's Chicken secret menu. You just have to know how to ask for it. Lou Landers, what did you say? I think you answered in the middle there.
Yeah. I'm gonna give up regular sex. I love oral sex, and I wouldn't want to give it away.
I think that's what makes it harder.
I need that food that you mentioned, like all that burgers and pizzas and stuff, because like that's my jam. And I'm certainly not giving up sports. So,
but now I'm gonna tell you. After I did it, I also kind of thought oral sex, but isn't really the right answer junk food? Meaning, we should probably, some of us give up a lot of the junk food anyway. But
it's not about what we should give up.
I understand. I understand.
The obvious one that we should give up is the junk food, but fuck that.
All right.
There's no way I'm giving up Carvel ice cream.
Also, I'm not dying to reproduce either, so I don't necessarily need to have regular.
It's expensive shit, man. This
as long
is
as I can still get off,
this is not cheap. This is not cheap, my friend.
Is that what
Give
you
it
rub?
up.
Is that what you rub on your asshole?
That's it, man.
Before dinner,
I use it for everything. I put on my lips, my asshole, everything. This is great.
I don't blame you. Now,
hemorrhoids too.
If we threw alcohol in the mix, would that make any difference, or oral sex would still
I'd
go
give up
before
alcohol because I don't even drink, so it'd be so easy.
I give up alcohol because I just mostly smoke.
Okay.
Yeah, ditto.
I'll give up alcohol too. Alcohol.
Alcohol.
I give up alcohol. I give up alcohol because
marijuana. Alcohol and marijuana.
Oh, then oral sex.
Out.
I'll give up the other. I'll give up the other three first.
The marijuana and the oral sex go hand in hand for me.
I do love that we pretty much nixed.
So I'm giving up the regular sex again.
Does medical marijuana count?
Oh no, that's a pill.
Okay, I could keep.
You have a prescription
for who?
So but that's all I smoke is medical marijuana because
I didn't realize there's a gray area.
Lou, you're not supposed to tell anybody that.
All right,
you got family watching. Your family's watching.
Hold on. This is the turn.
Well, if they are watching, they know I smoke marijuana. It's not really a secret.
Yeah, they all know that.
That's what they're worried about.
Double A. Was this last week's MMA fight not one of the greatest cards? I mean, you said it was.
Oh my God! Yeah.
First of all, I don't know. Like, I wasn't even expecting the main event the way Tony Ferguson got fucking demolished.
Oh my God! Yep.
He looked like he didn't even belong in there with Gaethje.
No, I agree.
Ah.
Definitely.
Did you catch that shit easy? Did you get it?
I spent the money just because live sports seemed
I did
like a
too.
thing to do. I was flabbergasted.
You guys bought it with money?
Bought it with money.
I bought it with money.
Right. That's what you're supposed to do with that
stole it all.
stimulus check, Phil. I'm just
No,
saying.
that's in the bank. I stole it.
I
mean, wait, are we live? I mean, I watched it at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Buffalo Wild Wings, then that's fine. I think you can say that. He did. I think his boss or his landlord just shut his Wi-Fi off, knowing that he's stealing.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, he steals everything. He's stealing everything. Phil's life at the moment is completely on the arm. This is honestly, COVID was the best thing to ever happen to Phil because his life is exponentially better the last 40 days.
It is pretty legit. Like, I'm not gonna lie to your face. Sitting home and collecting $1,000 a week while you wait for your job to say "come on back" is pretty dope.
Goddamn America, right?
Now, back to the fight. What did you quickly get over the fact there were no fans? I had no problem with it once it got started.
I mean,
I
for me, this is the second one I watched
no
with
fans. Yeah, I love the no fans, and here's why. Every time Gaethje hit Ferguson, it sounded like a goddamn truck hitting him. Like, I love it better. I think it adds more to it. Like, it is ridiculous. I'm like, oh, it makes it more cringy. I kind of hope this goes on for a while because the crowd really like drowns out just. I mean, Nicole and I watched it. And, like,
you could really hear like the bones and the fucking face meat fucking slap against each other and all that.
Hey,
shit.
easy.
Yeah.
I just tried to pull up the YouTube link and it says it's unavailable with restricted mode enabled. Is that?
Yeah, that's what I got
on
too,
your end?
Easy. Jesus Christ, bro.
So people can't even see people. No wonder why we don't have any live listeners, jackass.
I wore this goddamn suit for nothing.
No,
Now, the one thing I'll say about not having fans is when you don't have fans, I think it changes things in some way because, like, a lot of times when the fans are booing, I feel like that'll put pressure on the refs to like stand them up or do this or that, or so it makes the fights a little bit different. But like, I don't mind if this was the second one I seen with no fans. But
speaking of the refs, though, did you all read what Dominic Cruz said about that stoppage?
I mean,
Yeah,
it was
a ridiculous stoppage. Ridiculous.
It was bad.
Go ahead. Because here's where I'm at, man. It was a title fight, and Dominic Cruz is a goddamn champion. Champions have been in the deep end before. He was getting up. What I really got was the fact that after the fight, he said that the ref smelled like alcohol and cigarettes. That was a ballsy thing to say, though. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, I think he got jerked.
Especially like a main event fight like that. Like, I understand he got hit right before that, and it looked like but you got to let the guy go out, or at least get hit, like at least look like the guy that Francis Ngannou knocked out. Like, wait till he's limp.
Yeah, but it was Francis Ngannou hits like a goddamn truck. Like, it was, he put homeboy to sleep. Oh my God. That was probably one of the most entertaining UFCs I've ever seen. And I'm talking about back when UFC was good.
Yeah,
better than those ones.
I know ChaCha and Lou didn't watch or see it, and I probably would not have if there was other sports going on. It's just, I don't know. I don't say conscious, but part of me went like, you know what? I just need to throw my money somewhere. And
listen, there's no sports. If the honestly, and this is I always make fun of it, but if I'd watch the WNBA if it was actually on. I just need sports.
Whoa.
I need a sport.
It hasn't even been 12 weeks yet. Relax on that shit. I could go watch 12-year-olds do layups in my parking lot.
I'd watch. Listen, I don't watch hockey. If there was a hockey game on, I'd probably watch it.
All right, back to that. Now I'll bring Lou back in because last week we talked about will there even be baseball. I think in a week I'm a little more positive now that we will see some kind of baseball because last week I told you I didn't think we'd see it at all. I'm hedging now a little bit. We will.
Not if people are thinking like Blake Snell.
Well, that's the problem. The players seem to be the ones that are maybe are going to be the problem, actually, right?
Did you see in Korea or Japan they put mannequins in the stands, and some of them were even electronic where they would move around?
What does that say, ChaCha? Blake Snell is a what? A fucking pussy?
Whoa. Blake Snell's the only one who knows what the fuck is going on right now.
Yeah, well,
I'm
no,
100% behind him.
I'm not saying.
Wait, what did Blake Snell say?
I'm not sure what his sign said. I thought that's what he might have said. I don't know.
Why? What did he say? He doesn't want to play, or what's his deal?
I don't know. I didn't hear either.
Clip, man.
Right.
Really? You haven't heard either, dude?
I have not.
Nah.
If we did show prep, I would have had this ready. But yeah, give me a second, man.
No,
on that one.
Okay, so while Double A is getting prepared to give his spiel about it, I'll open it up in a sense. Blake Snell doesn't think that it's worth playing if they're not getting the money that he thinks the players deserve. He thinks they deserve more money if they're going to play based on the risks involved.
I think I have his audio clip if you want me to play it.
The risks to a 29-year-old dude in perfect health who's an athlete are almost fucking
younger than that.
And
it's not about that. It's about the money. And he's not even lying about it. I'm going to see if I can cue this up real quick. Let me know if you can hear this.
And Bryce Harper came to his defense and said, at least someone was willing to say it. Like,
right. I
you know, like a lot of them are thinking it. Snell was just man enough.
Well, actually, no, I'm going to put myself in their shoes because if my job said, hey, can you come back? But it's going to be, we're going to dock you
40% pay cut.
I'd be like, suck my wee-wee. I'm not coming back.
I mean, look,
so no,
now
I see.
If
it was for the virus, I'd call him a pussy, but it's for the money, so I'm
it's the money.
Hold on. He brought up the virus as part of it.
What's wrong with you, bro? Money should not be a thing. Bro, I'm risking my life. What do you mean it should not be a thing? It 100% should be a thing. If I'm going to play, I should be getting money I signed to be getting paid. I should not be getting half of what I'm getting paid because the season's cut in half, on top of a 33% cut of the half that's already there. So I'm really getting like 25%. On top of that, it's getting taxed. So imagine how much I'm actually making to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't making shit. And on top of that, so all that money's gone. And now I play risking my life. And if I get the Rona, on top of that, if I get the Rona, guess what happens with that? Oh, yeah, that's in my body forever. That damage is not going to be like, the damage that was done to my body, that's going to be there forever. So now I got to play with that on top of that. So y'all got to understand, man, for me to take a pay cut is not happening because the risk is through the roof. It's a shorter season, less pay. Like, bro, I got to get my money. I'm not playing unless I get mine, okay? And that's just the way it is for me. Like, I'm sorry if you guys think differently, but the risk is way the hell higher and the amount of money I make is way lower. Why would I think about doing that?
All right,
like,
all right.
You know, so
it's a combination of the money and the risk.
No,
and I get both. But at the same time, it's like, bro, there are millions and millions and millions and millions of people who would play pro baseball for free. So
but they're not good enough. Because that's what their value is to play pro baseball.
I know.
Bad argument. Bad argument.
Who's going to play for free? Who's going to play for free?
Seriously. I mean peanuts. Would you not play pro ball for 50K? For 50K, I'd play pro baseball for 50K because I love the game. So
the problem is nobody's going to pay us for it because I go and play slow pitch softball and I pull my goddamn hamstring.
I back Sale. I respect Sale for what he's saying. I'm just saying why people are so up in arms about it is because of the fact that there are a lot of people who would play for next to nothing because they just
can I just make my argument? It real fast. What it comes down to is it's just like when a billionaire donates, I don't know, $1 million to something. They say, oh, that's like $20. People are really good at spending other people's money. And people are really good at saying what they would do in this situation. Now, we all know, I mean, he's a pitcher, dude. He goes out for his 40% pay or whatever it is. He blows out his arm. Career-ending injuries happen, dude. So why would you do it at half value and put yourself out that? If he goes out there next year, full pay, the career's over, at least he got that. He could be costing himself future contracts. Also, I'm in the camp that Of course, all the young players want to play. The ones that are trying to get that big contract or whatever. And Snell, I think he has a $10 million contract. He has another contract or two in his career. But guys like, I use Clayton Kershaw a lot because I think a few months ago I read something about Kershaw. Kershaw has over $200 million. For a guy like Clayton Kershaw to go and isolate himself away from his family for a few months, that's ridiculous. Like, I would sit this one out too. I'm all about, and trust me, dude, I've been getting hammered on social media because I've been backing Snell like crazy. You get paid what you're worth. You know, anything that your employer is paying you or the city of New York is paying Phil right now, that's your value.
No, dude,
you know, like that's kind of where I'm at.
I'm in full agreement with you, and unfortunately, the way I started it, it sounded like I was against Snell, but I then, let you know I'm not. I back what he's saying. I'm just, I guess, giving the reasons why people are all up in arms and giving him such shit and making such a big deal because of that. But they're not in his shoes.
I don't think we know this. Hold on. I don't think we know this, but would it change your mind if we knew the owners and the people who own the media, if they were also
the owners are
losing that much money?
I think the executives, I know in the NBA, they said all the executives are
the owners are losing a lot of money, which is why they want to take away money from the players.
Okay. Losing
that's
a lot.
Where it started.
Okay, but losing a lot of money isn't the same as losing 25% of your money. Meaning, I believe
they are. I believe they're losing close to 50% because they've lost 50% of the season, which is all the ticket sales, the merchandise.
And I agree with Double A's argument, though. The owner of the Yankees, if a player hurts, I agree with Double A. If someone hurts themselves getting paid less money, they never get that money back. But if a player or two hurt themselves, the guy who owns the Yankees is still going to sell that Yankees thing somewhere down the road for $1 billion, meaning he's not, the amount of money the franchise is worth. Right. No, the money that franchise is worth is still worth that kind of,
these pay cuts to like the players, they really only matter to like those end of the bench guys who like just make enough. So now if they're not getting their $300,000 they're making, now they actually can't pay their bills.
Yeah. It's the minor leaguers in baseball.
Right.
Or whatever too. That,
and let's be quite honest.
ChaCha, would you deliver mail for 25, 40% less if you were still a mailman?
Absolutely not.
Right. I mean,
absolutely not.
Yeah, and
I would actually at this point, and I delivered mail when we had the problem with the mail they would put shit in the mail.
What was it? Anthrax, right?
Yeah. Anthrax.
Right. The Taliban.
And we walked into a place that everybody was scared shit. We didn't have gloves. We didn't have masks. Nobody knew what to do. And I know my mail lady right now, she tells me every day she's scared of her life. She's scared that she's going to die because people are not coming to work. People are not because they're scared, because they're sick. You got seven carriers that got COVID-19. You got routes not going out. The mail's hardly coming because we don't have carriers to deliver the mail.
Right.
And you bring in your own masks. You got your own gloves. You got to get your own stuff to go. It's basically like going to a war. So every day these guys are delivering mail, they're not getting more pay. They're just getting the regular pay. And so for me, if I was right now, I'm so happy I'm not there because I know it's a disaster. And I know 2 people that died already from the post office that nobody says nothing about because they just don't.
Nope.
And they said, well, he was already.
And that's where I'm kind of at. I mean, here's the real deal. I mean, this 1%, and especially in Major League Baseball, because it takes so goddamn long to finally make it to the majors. There's like 7 different levels you have to pass to get to the majors. When you finally get that, your window of earning potential is maybe 10 years. You need to stack as much money as you can in the next 10 years. So if a guy like Blake Snell, who already has the Cy Young, and people are saying, oh, nobody's going to touch him if he leaves Tampa, there's 29 teams ready to throw money at a guy like that next season on a full season. You got to make the money when you can.
Double A, not to mention, he is a Ray. It's not like he's a Yankee or a Dodger or a Brave or an Angel or a Red Sox where he's getting big money. I mean, he had to put up a huge stink just to get a raise after his Cy Young season. He's not getting paid what he's worth now if the season was normal, let alone with it being half. Yeah, I mean, a pitcher of his caliber that's won a Cy Young award is making $25 to $30 million a year now. He's making not even half of that.
That's it. Yeah, look at Garrett Cole. He's never even won anything.
And I
he
agree.
made $300 million.
And like I said, Double A makes a good point. I didn't think of that. If you play half of a season and only get half the money, but you get a 100% injury, it's not half of a fucking elbow go out. It's not half of a blown shoulder. It's the whole fucking thing. And you're going to lose full money down the road. I agree, a little bit more that way.
The injuries are already a huge problem.
Right.
And I mean, I'm not in these guys' houses or wherever they're working out and trying to stay in shape. But the fact that they're not at spring facilities, the fact that they've been sitting around for so long, leads me to believe that if baseball does resume, we're going to see a lot of injuries because these guys aren't going to be in shape because when they come back, they're going to rush them back.
Right, which is
so
a
they're
different
even
thing.
at more of a risk for injury.
So, Lou, do you think we'll see baseball or not?
Honestly, at this point, I'm actually starting to say no.
The other way?
I thought for so long we were going to get it, but I'm going to say no now because I don't think the players are going to budge here.
And doesn't it only take one or two good opinions like Sales to convince a lot more players to switch?
It opens their eyes.
Well, it opens their minds, but also I don't think it's just Snell or Harper or a few guys who were thinking it. Snell was just man enough, bless you, Easy, was just man enough to come out and actually say it.
Right.
Yeah. I read Nolan Arenado. They're all thinking it because I read Arenado, who's kind of playing like both sides a little. He's like, a lot of points that I agree with. He said a few things I wouldn't have, and that's just Arenado lobbying for his next contract or his trade or whatever, not to be a bad guy. Actually, he got a huge contract. It's just he's riding the line, but you're right. Bryce Harper agrees, and Bryce Harper is going to sign that big contract. I mean, it's no different than if, for example, Phil gets called back or someone else gets called back. Hey, man, we're going to bring you back. You got to take a 40% or 50% pay cut. And the virus is still around, so you might get it. And we're obviously not going to be busy. So now, you had 40 hours at your one rate. Now I'm going to give you, I don't know, hopefully we get you 20 at this rate. It just ain't worth it. Just sit down for the year, man. Like
Double A, Harper is the perfect example of a guy to speak up because he already has his. He got his 10-year deal or whatever it was from the Phillies. He's set for life, and he's still. It's not worth it to him. Not that it's all about the money. I'm not saying that. I'm sure he grew up.
It kind of is.
It. But
and
at the same
it's not
time,
like basketball
he's getting his money. But he also loves the game. He wants to play for years and years. Why make half that money and potentially get hurt? So even a guy who is set, who probably doesn't need another contract,
he's not going to get.
So imagine the guys that are
like
playing for that
contract.
Mookie Betts, for instance, if he comes back and gets hurt, it could ruin his entire huge payday in free agency.
Now,
like I was saying, it's not like basketball where basketball a lot of players want to come back. Like the Lakers are this close to maybe winning a championship or this or that. If it was the beginning of the year, it's like
just
whatever.
Stop the Lakers shit.
But see,
you know they're going to win.
Right. I do buy Double A because I think we've said it a couple times in this conversation, guys being afraid of getting. And I've watched a lot of news. I've never heard anyone other than that interview where someone call it the Rona. I'm just saying, I've never heard Rona in my life.
Snell is hood as fuck, apparently.
I've got the Rona.
Like he gets down like a wicker.
But getting the Rona,
if someone calls it the Rona, they're black. It's like 3%. As soon as I heard him say Rona, I'm like, oh, he's black.
He's not though.
He's not though, and that's
he's not
funny.
He's
not.
Oh, I would.
He's like a tall, skinny white dude.
Let me ask you guys something.
He was talking. I was like, oh, that's a black dude.
They start baseball again. Okay, they do it. They try to do the best they can to keep everybody safe. One of the best baseball players gets sick and drops dead. No.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen.
God forbid.
Say it happens.
Well,
why is that not going to happen?
What happens if a
They'll
guy
do like Vince McMahon did? The show must go on.
Well, I heard Manfred came out and said yesterday or 2 days ago that if they start and someone gets corona, they're not going to stop the season. He actually came out and said that.
Well, he had to say that.
So what if a young guy drops dead? Not a guy that's on the end of the bench that people will just come and wait, it's sad, but a guy that's very popular.
I mean, a guy dropped dead last year. It wasn't from corona, but it happened.
Right. My argument against that,
ChaCha.
no, my argument against that is
right.
I don't think the problem of them getting the Rona is still not, that doesn't change. They can get the Rona at home right now or going to, the bar and picking up sandwiches. So I think I'm now more concerned about a real injury more than I am the Rona, personally. So I understand what you're saying, but anybody could get sick of the virus anytime. And them being, if anything, I did say if they do play, they'll keep these guys, unfortunately, pretty much quarantined anyway. So I don't think.
So you think if a major baseball player right now, they start the season and a major guy drops dead from the coronavirus, everything just goes on.
No,
everybody's
you'd have
just
to
gonna,
prove,
they're gonna have half
you would
masks,
have to,
all the flags to be half masks for the ballparks.
You'd have to prove to me that he got it from the Bat Boy, and then the Bat Boy got it from somebody else in the thing. Meaning, I don't think you could even tie it in 100% that he would have gotten it.
So you mean if he got coronavirus from Aaron Judge, or if he got it from the janitor, it's a difference to you?
No, it makes a difference because if he got it from somebody else that was not even involved at all, meaning he could get it right now. We're not playing baseball. It's not like this is something only going to be.
My scenario isn't getting it now. They're playing baseball.
Right.
A major baseball player gets the coronavirus and drops dead from it. From it, nothing else. It's the coronavirus. It's definite. What's going to happen? They're just going to keep playing. Everybody's going, it's no big deal.
If it's from the corona, then they probably shut it down. I don't know.
Well,
if a player just gets it,
but it
that
doesn't
UFC
happen.
Fighter, he got it the day before.
You don't
and they just
drop
pulled him off
dead from it. You'll be alive for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, and the season will be over by then.
No, that's wrong. That's not true. Guys,
how many people do you affect in those 3 or 4 weeks?
Well, okay.
Especially what if a guy like Carlos Carrasco, who's battling cancer last year, he is so susceptible.
Yeah. Okay.
If he catches
the
it,
problem is what Anthony said. The problem is
die.
if someone gets it and then they don't know they have it, they play 14 days worth of games, and then all of a sudden 40% of Major League Baseball test positive.
Yeah.
But that didn't even happen in basketball. And basketball had a lot of people for the 1 week playing against each other. And,
chances are that most of these athletes, pro athletes, are not in the group that would actually die from it or even get severely sick. But that's not to say it wouldn't happen. And again, a guy like Carlos Carrasco, John Lester, Tyon, guys that have had cancer in the past, their systems are just naturally weakened. And not only
guys who have had it, guys who don't know they have it. Trey Mancini goes in to get checked out because he's sluggish and he has colon cancer. Like, they don't know what's going on until it's too late. So I just think it's an unnecessary risk at this point, especially if the monetary value and contract that they signed isn't there. I mean, we're almost at the point. I mean, I know it's a little bit exaggerated, but spring training for next year is right around the corner, guys. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but it's we'll be talking about.
Pay the guys. To me, you got to pay the dudes.
Right.
Whatever you'd be paying them between July 1st and the end of the season in a regular season is what you have to pay them now still.
So if baseball doesn't come back, does that mean there's a good chance football won't come back either?
Well, football thankfully doesn't really start up till mid-July, late or August. And if they really want to,
California got three more months.
They could cut down the preseason for the NFL. It would have to come back and get worse, I think, for the NFL.
The NFL has already planned for the first 4 weeks to not happen. In the background, when they brought out the schedule, they've admitted that the schedule was done for those first 4 weeks can be moved to the end. They've already talked to stadiums and people like that. So I'm already under the assumption, because they even did it that way, I bet we start a month late.
And the NFL is fortunate because they weren't about to start a season or in season. Like NHL and NBA got fucked because they were in season. Baseball got fucked because they were just about to start. The NFL has had all this time in the world to prepare in advance, whereas no one else did.
Yeah. Now,
but I have one question: why are they canceling golf? It's just you. It's just you and your cat.
There is a lot of people on the course. There's a lot of people that maintain the course.
Same thing with tennis, man.
Yeah. Now we do have real sport. NASCAR comes back now this week. And we do have golf.
What?
Yep. NASCAR comes back.
Do they have
for
to wear
real.
a mask while driving?
The driver, but that's their argument. Everyone in NASCAR was wearing a suit anyway. The drivers, the people in the pits, and now there's a few people in the pits that were up on the, in the booth thing. They now will have to wear a fire suit and a helmet, that kind of stuff. But NASCAR is coming back. We do have real golf this week. They're doing a skins game, which I think is probably starting here pretty soon, where professional golfers are, and they have to carry their own bag. There's no caddy. There are no fans.
God forbid.
There's no fans. Yeah.
Woo.
So we do have some real sports this weekend. So, and last weekend we had the MMA. So,
wait, no fans at golf. So who are the golfers going to snap at when they shank a shot? And they usually blame someone in the crowd for like blinking too loud.
Well,
so what you're saying is NASCAR and golf coming back soon. I noticed you didn't mention paint drying.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
like I said,
for some reason, a lot of people actually like golf in that.
But Double A, you say that, but we already had the discussion. If we had sports, I would not.
I'd watch golf. I'm not gonna lie.
I would. I watched the MMA last week because we have no sports.
But everybody's favorite sport is fighting.
Okay, but that's my
different.
My point is
Phil,
now
I'm not a golf person at all, but I have watched like the final round, the final
the final round. Sometimes when two guys are
final
close.
round. Final 5 holes of a major tournament.
Well, this is
like when two guys are close, like within one shot of each other, it does get kind of.
This is a skins game.
There's not a lot to follow, and it gets intense. I like it.
Well, speaking of skins, can you guys help me out here for a moment? I know it's getting a little late in the hour here.
We're over.
But I got a skin tag that it's about this big. If you could see it, it's tremendous.
Over the counter medicine, bro.
What can I got an appointment to see the dermatologist. Believe it or not, they gave me an appointment. The first appointment I could get is on a Sunday, 8:40 in the morning. The doctors are starting to work Saturdays and Sundays. They don't give a shit. And they'll come in. Yeah. They said come at 8:40 in the morning, then remove your skin tag if it's that bad. And that's my deal.
I
got a quick question because I'm on the clock in a dynasty football draft. I need a wide receiver. Do we like the career of Michael Gallup or Hollywood Brown more?
Gallup.
Gallup, because they're going to throw the ball to him more.
Gallup's a more complete player.
Hollywood Brown might be one of the top receivers, but they're just not going to throw the ball enough.
Okay, firstly, Lamar Jackson still can't throw the football, despite what some people might think. Secondly, Brown is all speed and nothing else.
Hollywood. Give me some wood.
All right. And at that point, folks, it has been the A-hole hour. Thank you very much for stopping in. I would like to thank my friends. Easy, as always, looking lovely as ever. ChaCha, reach him at ChaCha Talks at someshit.com. Lou Landers, the hidden gem of the professional fantasy community. You could obviously catch him at Landers Talks or Landers Stalks on Twitter. And honestly, one of my favorite people in the world, Black Phil Wesson. He's the man. He ain't doing shit. Ladies, slide in those DMs. He ain't afraid of Rona if it comes down to getting it wet. So unless anybody else has anything else to say, we could say goodnight, boys.
Say goodnight.
Good night, boys.
Big asshole.
Not an asshole.
Hello. That asshole said I could stop that asshole. It's an asshole. Asshole. Christmas asshole.
All of you little assholes are gonna go nowhere in life.
You're an asshole. Passing notes, you little asshole. Oh, that's very clever. Asshole. You had it coming, asshole.